Welcome to the Tony the Prophet channel for week 18. Happy New Year, everybody. I want to thank everybody for hanging in there with me all season. This is the last week. I will be here for the playoffs. We'll pick every playoff game, even though some of them, as I've learned in the past, you don't want to bet every game. So, anyways, we had kind of a tough week last week. I had the Jags minus 5.5. They covered. I had Carolina originally a minus 7.5. I liked the hook, then it turned to 7. I said in my video if they couldn't run the ball, they'd be in trouble against Seattle. And maybe in retrospect, that wasn't a great pick. And they kept it close for a while, but then they kind of got blown out, lost by 2 touchdowns. But and then I had Chicago plus 3.5, and they had 4th down to win the game, and they couldn't pull it off. They had that drive. I knew the Frisco defense was suspect against the pass, and anyways, so we came up a half a point short there, and inexplicably, I had the Rams against Atlanta, and Atlanta decided at the end of the year to show up. Bijan's having the games of his career. If you had him in fantasy, you got your 40 points in the win for the championship. But, Stafford had his worst game. He threw 3 picks. That should have been a smash spot for him to have 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. But, and there was some bad ref calls and a crazy ending. So anyways, we don't look back, but I got to tell you, week 18 is the roughest, the most brutal week. Going through these games, you have teams that have nothing to play for. And then I've found over the years that teams where they have to play for seeding, they could care less. So a lot of people are going to be rested. A lot of starters. If you look at the books, props, they don't have hardly any props for these teams. They'll give you touchdown props. So there was some fortuitous props here and there I was looking at with some of these replacement players, and they don't even have them out there. So brutal week to pick, but here we go. I'm going to take Cincinnati minus 7.5 against Cleveland. Cleveland has 3 starters on the O-line out. Njoku and Fannin is out. Judkins is out for the year. Cleveland had 78 rush yards last week and 184 yards passing. The offense without these players, and maybe they have Judy less. Burrow's record in December and January is very strong. Cincinnati has averaged 37 points in the 4 of the 5 games that they've won. They actually didn't win, but in 4 of the 5 last weeks, they got shut out by Baltimore, which stuff happens. But in those other games, they averaged 37 points. Cincinnati 5-1 against the spread last 6 games. 4-1 against the spread the last 5 at home versus Cleveland. Cincinnati 8-1 straight up the last 9 games in January. Burrow, they always finish the year strong. They missed the playoffs by a game last year after their bad start. Cleveland 7-13 against the spread their last 20 games. Cleveland 6-14 against the spread their last 20 games versus Cincinnati. So again, no, I don't think a lot of analysis. Cleveland is hurting. Burrow, they want to finish the year out strong. They've been playing well, even though they're out of it. I have it Cincinnati 31-16. Now the second game, I'm going to Seattle. They have all the reason in the world to win. The number 1 seed and NFC supremacy. And a home games guaranteed in the playoffs. I love the game when it was a minus 1.5. A lot of people are thinking like I am, and basically, it's very simple analysis. The key to the game is that Seattle number 8 pass game versus San Francisco 25th against the pass defense. Now, Saleh has done, the whole coaching staff at Frisco has done a tremendous job keeping him in with all these defensive injuries, and Saleh's done a great job. But, last week versus Chicago, they gave up 496 yards and 200 rushing and 296 yards passing. Williams had like his career day, and it's going to be a big JSN game. Shaheed is back. He's out of concussion. He's great on special teams. He had that uh, uh, kickoff return against the Rams and their miracle comeback down 30-14. Uh, Seattle's just the best team on the road too. I love taking Seattle on the road. They're 7-1 against the spread, straight up and against the spread on the road this year. But it goes back 2 or 3 years. The 12s there, I don't know what's happened, but they play better on the road. Conversely, San Francisco plays better on the road too, so they're home. They won last week, but like I said, Chicago had a chance on the fourth down to win that game. They're 4-3 against the spread at home. They're 7-2 against the spread on the road. San Francisco, but Seattle 9-0 straight up, 5-3-1 against the spread as a underdog under McDonald, and 49ers 8-11 straight up as home dogs, and 11-17 straight up versus teams with winning percentage of 75% or better under Shanahan. Seattle 11-4 against the spread the last 15. San Francisco also a good cover team, but you know they basically had one of the easiest schedule. Them and the Patriots this year. They beat Indy with Rivers, Tennessee, Cleveland, Carolina, Arizona, the Jets. Seattle won 6 in a row, 9 of the last 10. Frisco's won 6 in a row, 8 of the last 10. So you got teams winning, but I think Seattle has the better defense. Their pass defense for Frisco is a liability. And with everything on the table, Seattle on the road, I think they get it done. I have it Seattle 31-27. I think it's a high-scoring game. Certainly, Seattle Frisco defense giving up the points. So the next game, I'm going to Atlanta -3.5. I bet it early and got a 3. I still think it's a good value at 3.5. You can buy down you can take off the hook for like -122 to -125. Atlanta's won 3 in a row, and they finally got their game together. Bijan has emerged as the premier back in the NFL. Take a look at these numbers, okay? Week 15 versus Tampa, 93 rush yards, 11 targets, 8 catches, 82 yards. Versus Arizona, 76 rush yards, week 16, 11 targets, 7 catches, 92 yards. And last week versus the Rams, who purportedly had a good defense, 195 rushing yards, 8 targets, 5 catches for 34 yards. And he's had like about 5 touchdowns in the stretch. So New Orleans also been playing well in the Shuck, but you know, he's a Rookie of the Year candidate. But the big difference in this game is Olave is out. That is the difference. That's why I'm taking Atlanta. They won't be able to keep up. Now, these teams are middle of the road spread. New Orleans 8-8 against the spread. Atlanta 9-7. New Orleans 5-0 against the spread the last 5, and Atlanta 6-9. 6-3 against the spread the last 9. But take a look at Olave, okay? Week 15, he's had 9 targets, 6 catches, 85 yards, and 1 touchdown. Week 16, 10 targets, 148 yards, 2 touchdowns. Week 17, those are, let me just go back. Let me go back to week 16. 16 target, 10 catches, 148 yards, 2 touchdowns. Week 17, 11 targets, 8 catches, 119 yards, and a touchdown. You take that out, that is big performance. That's over 100 yards a week in passing yards that they won't have. And I think it's the difference in the game. No further analysis needed. New Orleans is playing tough, but Atlanta's at home in the Dome, and I have it Atlanta 27-20. Now, in this last game, I'm a little bit torn. I like the Rams coming back off that loss, but I'm going to take Chicago -3. Now, here's the caveat. I'm going to pivot to if Seattle wins, which I think they will, I'll pivot to the Rams minus 8.5. I think I got it at 7.5 early in the week. They can get the fifth seed with the win, so they're going to try to win because they get the winner of the Tampa Carolina game, and it's a much easier road because they'll be on the road as the fifth seed. So if Seattle wins, they're going to try hard. If they don't win, they may arrest people because they're going to be locked into the sixth. So I'll go to Chicago. Not a lot of analysis here. Chicago's plays better at home. You have Goff, who doesn't play that well outside in the elements. I haven't checked the weather, but it's the winter. It's cold here. It's going to be cold and brutal in Chicago. And the problem Detroit has, their old line is beat up. When Goff faces pressure, he's in trouble. You saw the last game against Pittsburgh. They just couldn't hold up. Minnesota, it seemed like every time they snapped the ball, he was sacked, and they had the third string quarterback in. They still decimated him. So they've given up 100. So Chicago's a number 3 run offense against a Detroit team that can't stop the run right now. They were better early in the year, but with their injuries, they've given up 158 yards to Minnesota last week, 230 yards to Pittsburgh. That Gainwell and Warren they couldn't stop them. It was unbelievable. And 159 yards to the Rams in week 15. So Detroit in free fall at the end of the year, as much as Campbell, would love to beat Ben Johnson, and, he'll play all his guys. They'll try to play hard. Detroit, 1-6 against the spread their last 7 games. They're just not covering. I'm not going to that well. I'm not touching Detroit. I got it early in the week of 2.5. I think a 3 is still safe. And, excuse me, Chicago, 10-4 against the spread their last 14. I have the Chicago 34-24. I like the over because Detroit can score, and Chicago, they put up a big number against Frisco last week, so they can score. Before I get to the full schedule, I just was looking at stuff. There's not a lot of props out there, but I do like defensive touchdowns by Houston against the third-string quarterback in Indy, and the Denver D to score a touchdown. They're both $4.75. So you put $10 on that, you walk away with $47.50, and if the two of them hit, you got a C note, and life is good. So let's go to the game script here, and let's go through these games. I would take Carolina with the 3 points. I'm not 100% confident they're going to win. Tampa was like 8-10. Their last games, they just in free fall, not playing well. They get Evans back. They get everybody back. Wouldn't surprise me if they win like 21-20, somewhere in there. Not a high-scoring game. I think Evans has a good matchup, but he didn't do so well the last few weeks. I had him in fantasy. He was a disappointment since he came back. But, Carolina with the hook. With the 3. I can't take Tampa. Houston and Indy. Houston, I don't like them as a big favorite. It's a stay away. Indy with the third-string quarterback. That Houston should kill him. That defense should kill him. This guy should be running for his life. But you saw last week. Excuse me. You saw last week that. You saw last week that Houston was up 14-0, and they won 20-14. So I'm not laying 10 points with Houston. That's a stay away from me. Same with Jacksonville. I would take Jacksonville. I think Lawrence is like plus 200 to throw 2 touchdowns, so they're going to score. Tennessee has been feisty as a dog at 13.5. If you play this, I would play Tennessee and buy the hook at 14. Jacksonville should kill them, but Tennessee's always come back. Tennessee's a pass funnel, so Lawrence should have a good day, probably better than ATN. But I haven't bet it. But if I did, I would take Tennessee with the 14. But Same with Minnesota Green Bay. I bet Minnesota early at 7.5. Green Bay's not playing anybody. It's going up to 9.5. Probably still, I've seen some 9s, 8.5s coming back. It's probably a decent play on Minnesota. Green Bay, they are home. You saw what they did to Detroit. But once the line gets high like that, J.J. McCarthy is back, which is a huge plus. They're probably okay, but I'm not crazy. I don't know if I'm betting it. Same for Buffalo with the Jets. I would take Buffalo. They're going to play Allen for one series, put him in so he can get a starting record. And, Ray Davis and Chandler, Ty Chandler, having a brain fade here. But the running backs have enough. Trubisky's an NFL backup. They should beat the Jets, who are ready to go to Cancun. But again, I'm not touching it. Denver minus, it's 12.5, went to 13.5. They got to win to be number one. That's why I said I like a defensive touchdown. But Denver plays with their food as a very heavy favorite. When they're giving up 7.5 points, you saw last week against Kansas City, they were life and death with the third string quarterback. And I'm not touching them. I just like a defensive touchdown. They could get it. Rams, that was okay. We said that. KC, Vegas, not really crazy about Kansas City to try to get Kelsey probably in his last game some action. They don't have a run game, but they hung in there against Denver, kept it close. It was 13-13 for a lot of the game. Vegas is trying to tank. They make the Giants look like, the Patriots with Brady. But I would take Kansas City, but I haven't bet it. New England the same way, 10.5. That's some 11.5s, and I don't know how long they're going to keep Mayen. They took him out last week. Maybe play the first half, and then, but. If the points get high enough, I would take Miami because I don't think the Pats are going to, especially if Denver is winning, which they should in a smash spot. They cannot get the number one seed. Denver wins, they're in. They get the number one, so Pats will start resting everybody. Philly and Washington, 4.5. I like Philly. I just think with the backups and Bigsby and Dotson have a big day. I wanted to bet his prop. They don't even have it out there. But they have more depth. That's what it comes down to. Washington, it's a tough team at the end of the year. It's 38.5 over under. Not a lot of points. I didn't touch it. If you want to bet it, I would take Philly. And then Baltimore, Pittsburgh. Baltimore should kill them the way Henry's running. But historically, Pittsburgh has been better against Henry. There was a 4.5, I think, on DK for Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's a good dog team. I think Baltimore wins, but at 4.5, maybe they win by a field goal. And Pittsburgh as a dog under Tomlin, he's been especially at home, been the best dog coach. So I would take Pittsburgh at 4.5, 4, but Baltimore should win. So that's it. Thank you for sticking with me. I'm going to do the play. I'll pick every playoff game, even though some of them will tell you not to bet because some of them won't be good lines. And I'm going to get my record. I'm going to have that all put together. Hopefully I'll have that by next week. We'll get that out, and we'll have like a summary video and pick the playoffs on Super Wildcard Weekend. Thanks a lot. Happy New Year, and we'll see you next time.